Today on Bike Culture Hub, we're diving deep into this iconic machine, the 2026 Honda XR650L, a bike that continues to define what a true dual sport should be. If you want rugged reliability, simple engineering, and a motorcycle that can ride from the city street straight into the wild without thinking twice, this is the one. But Honda has sprinkled in a few modern updates that might surprise you, so let's get into everything this bike brings for 2026. The XR650L has always been known for its bulletproof 644 cubic centimeters air-cooled single-cylinder engine, and yes, that heart is still here. Honda didn't touch the formula that works. What they did instead is refine the fueling, emissions, and mapping to make the 2026 model smoother, cleaner, and more responsive than before. The classic thump is still there, that big bore torque that pulls from the bottom like a tractor, but now the throttle feels more controlled, the power band is more consistent, and the engine runs cooler thanks to internal tweaks. It's the kind of engine that isn't trying to impress you with numbers, instead, it impresses with reliability, simplicity, and the confidence that it'll start every single time even if you've been lost in the mountains for a week. And while many bikes these days boast liquid cooling and complex ride modes, the XR650L's straightforwardness is its charm. It's predictable, easy to maintain, and built for riders who want a machine that can take a beating without blinking. Performance-wise, the 2026 XR650L stays true to its dual-sport DNA. The suspension setup is still long travel, using a 43mm air-adjustable fork-up front and a ProLink rear shock with full adjustability. Honda has slightly retuned the damping for better comfort on pavement while keeping the off-road agility intact. The ground clearance remains generous, the stance tall, and the overall feel very trail-focused. When you take this bike off-road, it shows you why the XR name carries so much respect. It floats over rocks, absorbs hits without bottoming out, and maintains composure even at higher dirt speeds. On pavement, it's not the most refined machine, it vibrates, it feels tall, and the big single reminds you that you're riding something built for rugged terrain first. But for many XR riders, that's exactly the charm. It's authentic. It's mechanical. It feels alive in a way modern bikes often don't. Honda also made small but meaningful design updates for 2026. The bike still looks unmistakably like an XR, a tall, narrow, dirt-ready machine with a minimalist body. But the graphics have been refreshed with a sharper red-white theme that blends nostalgia with a bit of modern flair. The LED headlight is a major upgrade this year, offering better brightness while consuming less power. Honda has also updated the instrument cluster, keeping it analog-styled but with a small digital section for trip data and fuel monitoring. Nothing flashy, nothing distracting, just the essentials. The seat remains on the firmer side, typical for a dual sport, but Honda reworked the foam density to make long rides slightly more forgiving. You still get the steel frame that has proven its durability for decades. And yes, the bike still sits tall at over 37 inches of seat height, reinforcing its identity as a bike built for riders who genuinely use its off-road capabilities. One of the biggest strengths of the XR650L has always been its versatility. You can ride it to work during the week, load it up with soft luggage on Saturday, and conquer mountain trails on Sunday. The 2026 model continues that legacy. It still delivers around 40 to 43 horsepower, plenty for trail riding and moderate highway speeds. On the open road, it's not a speed demon, but it cruises comfortably at 100 to 110 km per hour without feeling strained. The fuel efficiency stays solid for a bike of this class, and the simplicity of the engine means you'll spend less time in the workshop and more time exploring. For many dual-sport enthusiasts, the XR650L isn't just a motorcycle, it's a tool, a reliable partner for adventures that don't require planning or perfect weather. When it comes to braking, the 2026 model uses the same proven disc setup, though Honda has improved the ABS programming slightly. It's still switchable ABS, meaning you can turn the rear ABS off for off-road control while keeping front safety on pavement rides. The wheels remain dirt-oriented with 21-inch front and 18-inch rear sizes, giving you access to countless tire options depending on whether you lean more toward street or dirt riding. And speaking of dirt, the XR650L continues to deliver that raw, rugged off-road feel that newer adventure motorcycles often lack because they're simply too heavy or too electronic. This bike has personality, and sometimes that personality is a little wild. But that's the fun of it. Now let's talk about what makes the 2026 XR650L still so special in today's motorcycle market. In a world full of expensive, tech-loaded machines, this Honda offers something rare: pure freedom without complication. No touchscreen, no ride modes, no traction control, no radar systems, just mechanical honesty. The bike is built for riders who appreciate old-school engineering done right. That simplicity also makes it incredibly easy to modify. Whether you want to turn it into a long-range adventure machine with bigger tanks and racks, a lightweight trail monster, or a retro enduro build, the XR650L is like a blank canvas. You can personalize it endlessly, and thousands of aftermarket parts exist because the platform has barely changed for decades. That consistency is something few bikes can claim today. The price for the 2026 Honda XR650L lands around $7,200 to $7,500 globally, depending on market, and in regions like Pakistan, after import duties, it will naturally be higher. But the value is still undeniable. You're getting reliability, proven design, low maintenance costs, and a bike that will last longer than most riders keep their motorcycles. Honda knows exactly who this bike is for, and they didn't try to reinvent it. Instead, they refined it, modernized it just enough, and kept everything fans love intact. As you ride the 2026 XR650L, you feel like you're experiencing a machine built by people who respect the roots of motorcycling. It doesn't overwhelm you with electronic safety nets. It doesn't pretend to be a high-tech adventure tourer. It just performs on dirt, on gravel, on mountain trails, and on rough city roads. It's rugged, dependable, and always ready to explore. Even after all these years, the XR650L remains one of the most trustworthy dual sports you can buy, especially if your adventures take you far from civilization. In the end, the 2026 Honda XR650L reminds us why some motorcycles just shouldn't change too much. Honda has kept the essence of the XR alive: a powerful single-cylinder thumper, long travel suspension, old-school durability, no-nonsense engineering, and a riding experience that feels connected and real. For riders who want a bike they can trust anywhere, from deserts to forests to city traffic, the XR650L is still one of the best choices. And with a few modern touches for 2026, it feels more polished than ever without losing its identity. If you're the kind of rider who values freedom, simplicity, and adventure without limits, this is a motorcycle you'll love. As you ride the 2026 XR650L, you feel like you're experiencing a machine built by people who respect the roots of motorcycling. It doesn't overwhelm you with electronic safety nets. It doesn't pretend to be a high-tech adventure tourer. It just performs on dirt, on gravel, on mountain trails, and on rough city roads. It's rugged, dependable, and always ready to explore. Even after all these years, the XR650L remains one of the most trustworthy dual sports you can buy, especially if your adventures take you far from civilization. And that wraps up our deep dive into the 2026 Honda XR650L. Let us know in the comments if you're planning to get one, or if you're a longtime XR fan who's excited that Honda is still keeping this legend alive. Thanks for watching Bike Culture Hub. Make sure to like, subscribe, and stay tuned for more motorcycle reviews, adventures, and breakdowns. Ride safe, and we'll see you in the next one.